What's up, everyone? Welcome to Redskins Talk TV. This is your host, Dre. Reporting to you from South Texas. Yes, I'm a Texas resident. No, I don't like the Cowboys. Fuck the Cowboys. And anyone that steps to me talking bullshit, fuck them. Anyway, we needed this win today against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who came in at 2-3. We came in at 2-4 at home. We needed this victory, something bad, especially going into the bye week. Now, jumping right into it with the offense, the first half we looked like shit. We couldn't get anything happening on the run. We couldn't get anything much going with over the air. Nothing worked. It wasn't until after halftime, the first time this season, we were able to make halftime adjustments and came out and played some solid football, because other games this season we were pretty much winning with the exception of one game going into halftime, and then we fell flat, played conservative, and allowed the other team to catch up and eventually win. So we were able to get this victory today over a team that we needed to beat. It was projected that we were going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they made us work for it. They were doing everything right, but Kirk Cousins, got to give him a big shout out. Now, for those who know me know, I'm a huge RG3 supporter. Do I wish he was under center? Of course. I'm never going to forget what he did, and I know 2012 to now, it's a couple of different seasons, and he's had his bad games, but I still have hope for him. But right now, the man under center is Kirk Cousins, and the truth is, for all of us that are RG3 supporters, the ones that chant RG3 whenever Kirk Cousins has a negative play, you have to remember this. Even if Gruden was to bench Kirk Cousins, McCoy is the next man up. He's second string. RG3 is relegated to third stringer. So there's nothing that we can do that's going to force RG3 into the game unless both Kirk Cousins and McCoy are hurt or something's happened to where they cannot play. But with that being said, Kirk Cousins, he made the passes when they needed to count in the third and fourth quarter. He was able to hit his go-to guy, Jordan Reed. Certainly glad that he's back, because he creates those mismatches for linebackers and safeties. And on that skinny post that he ran off with that inside slant for the game-winning touchdown, it was brilliant. And that was something that we needed. We really, really needed that. And there you have it. So third game-winning drive for Kirk Cousins. Hats off to him. I'm not going to call the game until the game is almost zero. And even when we got that game-winning touchdown, we had about maybe 35 seconds left in the game, something like that. And we were allowing the guys down the field. But overall offense, the running game was non-existent. Matt Jones and Alfred Morris couldn't get anything going. So we really need to do something along the offensive line so that we sustain our blocks, open those holes for the running backs. We really need that. But at the same time, some of the dumb trick plays like the screens, those aren't working. They're not working at all. There's very few times where they have worked, and it seems like every time we run it, teams know that we're going to do it, and they shut it down. They tackle us for no gain or a loss. So I really, really wish that they would cut away from the trick plays and just stick to no-nonsense football, something just straightforward. Creating the mismatches, of course, every now and then an end around, but I don't really recommend it. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the trick play. No flea flickers, something that's going to be suitable for what we can do, because we don't have the talent. We have too many injuries with our starters to afford us to do those trick plays. We're not sustaining blocks, and it's indicative that if we cannot run the ball, trick plays are just not, it shouldn't be our thing at all, because we're not sustaining our blocks. Along the offensive line, I think Josh Laribus, he's doing an outstanding job as a center, so his blocking is much better than Corey Lichtensteiger. He's not a turnstile. He's been with the team for a while, so now that he's getting his opportunity, I'm glad that he's doing a much better job than Lichtensteiger. I know I used to scream and want to pull, well, I don't have any hair, but what comes out of the roots when Casey Rybach was a center, he had me going crazy. On the right side, we have Morgan Moses. So I know he allowed for Kirk Cousins to get sacked and with the strip and all that, but he's learning. He's big, he's strong, And then, of course, you have Trent Williams on the left side. Concerned because he's got issues with his health and his knee. So he was a little dinged up, but he returned to the game. But, we have some bookend tackles on our team. And Kirk Cousins, he knows when to climb the pocket. He knows when to get out. But he stands tall. So he's getting there. So you got to give him praise for that. I'm not going to disparage him. So I'm glad that he was able to achieve what he did today to pull us out of the hole that we were in. But it was a team effort, not just on Kirk Cousins, but it was a team effort. Our young receivers making the receptions. I know Jamison Crowder. There were a couple of passes, brilliant, that he caught. Ryan Grant, he had a touchdown reception, but he was getting open. Ross hasn't been much of a factor, but when it's his time to step up, I'm sure that he will. But overall, when we needed to make things count in the third and fourth quarter, we did. So kudos to the offensive team. Now the defense, for me, as I said, not allowing for a rookie quarterback to come in and beat us, because we seem to do that a lot. I remember when Vince Young with the Tennessee Titans, they hadn't won a single game until they played us. I remember a couple of years ago when in RG3's rookie season, when Cam Newton, he was in his sophomore year, and they hadn't won a game, and they came and they beat us, and we got to play them sometime shortly after the Patriots, and they've got one of the top-rated defenses in the league. So we've got a work cut out for us. But allowing for a rookie quarterback to come in and beat us is embarrassing. I hate that. So fundamental football is what we need on all phases. So, but not getting much pressure. I think we sacked Jameis Winston maybe 2 or 3 times, but we weren't really getting a lot of pressure. He was escaping a couple of times when we had him close to the grasp. A lot of poor angles and poor tackling, getting Doug Martin down and the other running back, I forgot his name, but they were gashing us. And again, we allowed for another 100-yard rusher in 3 consecutive weeks. So our vaunted run defense is not so vaunted any longer. Our defense is staying out on the field because we're not getting pressure. We're not forcing errant throws from the quarterback. We have to do something in order to get off the field as a defense. At the same time, when we have to be able to stop receivers from getting off the line of scrimmage easily. Mike Evans, who single-handedly destroyed us last season, he came into this game for the entire season without a touchdown reception. And within the third or fourth play of their first possession, he got a touchdown. And he was having another monster day. He had over 100 yards of receptions against us. So I don't know what was going on, because there were times where Bashad Breeland was playing against him and he is playing off, 10 yards. Anyone knows I hate when the corners play off the line of scrimmage and give that kind of cushion. We need to be able to shut them down. And if I was playing corner, me at 6'1", 195 pounds, I don't give a damn how big the cornerback is. Now we're talking Mike Evans. He's about 230 pounds, 6'5". Then you have Vince Jackson. He's another big receiver, about 225, 230, 6'5". You have Lewis Murphy, and you had a rookie wide receiver, Dye. If it wasn't for Vince Young and Lewis Murphy being out of the game for injuries, whatever the case is, this would have been a different game altogether, because the big receivers on the outside would have been too much for us to handle. And Mike Evans was already too much. On his first touchdown, Blackman had good coverage on him at the snap of the ball, but somehow Mike Evans just got behind him, and Blackman never looked back as the ball was coming in, and Mike Evans just scooped it up, and that was his first touchdown reception. But he had big plays throughout the game, playing off the line of scrimmage, allowing for that inside slant. Once they were catching the ball with those receptions for the Buccaneers, they were getting 10, 15 yards of gainage, and we were allowing it, playing off the line of scrimmage. So we've got to do better as a defensive unit. The poor tackling, getting sucked into one direction. The difference between us and elite defenses is our ability to stay disciplined. That's the most important thing. When you're looking at the Jets, when we played them, if we had a run going to one direction, some of the defenders were not chasing that down if they were on the opposite side of the field. They were staying home, and just in case the runner changed directions, or if the quarterback decided to change directions and maybe sneak, whatever the case is. But that's the difference. That is something that we're not doing. When the running back gets the ball and they decide to run direction, us not thinking that there's going to be a cutback, we were all running the same directions. We were putting ourselves out of place, and the running backs, they were feasting on that. Even when they were running up center, we were not sealing the gaps, and we were not stopping them from running up the gut. And again, Doug Martin, he ran for 100 yards. The other running back, he had a pretty decent day, whereas our guys did shit, absolutely shit on the ground. So Joe Barry, he's got to demand more from the corners, playing at the line of scrimmage, being more physical within that first 5 yards, hitting the receiver in the chest. And I know a lot of people are like, no, well, with some receivers you can't do that. That's just my philosophy, so don't try to rain on my parade. I'm just saying my mindset is for shutting down the receiver. That's something that we need to do as a defensive unit, because if we can stop the receiver and the quarterback from connecting with their timing routes, we can make the quarterback hold the ball longer. Their tight end really wasn't a factor. He had a couple of receptions, but he wasn't a key factor. And the game that we're going up against next after the bye week, the tight end for that is one of the focal points of that offense with the Patriots and Gronkowski. So we've got to play solid football. Solid football. Special teams, we didn't really have much going because there was nothing really positive or negative. The only key thing with our special teams is our kicker. He's doing a heck of a job, and I'm glad for that. He's got a leg on him. He can get the ball down the field. That's what we need, because Kai Forbath, I liked him, but he didn't have a strong leg on kickoffs, and he was always kicking before the ball would land before it reached the goal line. And we weren't getting that many touchbacks with him. Excuse me. I'm outside here in South Texas. We just got beat up by the storm from Patricia that hit Mexico. So now I'm starting to get some mosquitoes, so I'll probably get my ass eaten up. But anyway, I just want to make this video because I'm glad that we got this victory. Much needed. We're going into the bye week, so we're going to allow some guys to heal up. Hopefully we'll see the return of Deshaun Jackson against the Patriots. We're really going to need it. But I'll talk about that after that game. Anyway, if you like this video, hope that you like, subscribe, and share. And to my Redskins family, hail to the Redskins.